This is the She Dares to Travel podcast, and I am your host, Raquella Pollock. After spending a decade managing the #1 travel agency in Canada, I am now here to connect you to women that are taking the travel industry by storm, as well as female business professionals that also have a passion for travel, just like me. We are here to inspire, uplift, and motivate you to not only follow, but plan out your dreams, no matter where in the world they may be. And of course, this wouldn't be possible without our sponsor, Staples Studio, where I am currently recording from. Check them out on their website, studio.staples.ca. It truly is a new approach to co-working with community at its heart. There's access to hot desks, meeting and event spaces all across North America. So thank you, Staples Studio, for connecting us and sponsoring this podcast. And thank you for listening. Enjoy, be sure to subscribe and follow along. Thank you to our sponsor, Kentucky Holidays, with tours being operated all over the world for travelers 18 to 35 years old. You can also save $100 Canadian off your next trip on kentucky.ca when you use the promo code SHEDARES. That's all one word. And speaking from experience, I have traveled on these tours and I've met lifelong friends because of it. Happy travels. Hello, all you daredevils. Welcome back. We are here today with someone that is no stranger to travel and has actually ended up landing what I would consider a total dream job with the tour company and tour operator that is really like no other. Alex Cupeiro from Frontiers North Adventures. She's marketing and communications coordinator. And Frontiers North Adventures is a family-owned and run business in Manitoba, Canada. And it really showcases the Great White North, which I know everybody thinks that all of Canada is covered in snow and ice, but that's not the case. There's only a few special places that actually get to see a lot of the animals and the beautiful northern lights that you get to do, which is in Manitoba, which is where she is today. So this tour operator, they are fiercely proud of being a certified B Corporation. They provide itineraries for those looking for wildlife, photography, for an intimate adventure travel where you're going to dine under the northern lights, you're going to see beluga whales, and you're going to get to experience seeing wild polar bears too. I'm just so excited to dive more into it. Alex, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and have the opportunity to chat with you guys.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So whereabouts are you right now?
So I'm calling in from Winnipeg, Manitoba, right here in the heart of Canada, and it's also my home.
Oh, perfect. So you've lived there all your life?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Winnipeg. This has always been home for me, and it looks like it's going to stay that way for a while.
Awesome. That's really exciting. And your work then is in Churchill, Manitoba. How far is that from Winnipeg?
It is about a 2-hour flight from here in Winnipeg, just a little bit over, or 2 days by train. Those would be the only 2 ways to get between Winnipeg and Churchill.
Nice. Which way do you typically go when you're working, or do you work remotely?
Typically tend to fly. I work here in the Winnipeg office and just go up to Churchill as needed. So it's usually around 7 or so times a year, at least, that I'm up there.
Oh, that's so good. Is it usually during winter, or is it kind of a mixed winter, summer that you go up?
I go up for a whole mix. I go up, we have 3 seasons. So fall, autumn is our polar bear season, October and November. In winter, we have our Northern Lights season, which is February and March. And in summer, we have our beluga whales, which are July and August.
So cool. So cool. So have you always, has travel always been a big part of your life?
Travel has been a very big part of my life from the very early days. I actually have a father who is a pilot. So I've grown up on family vacations, and as I got older, hopping on and off planes on pass as I could, and then slowly starting to do some solo travel, traveling with my friends. So it's something that has evolved over time as I've gotten older, but has really been there since the beginning.
So cool. What do you know how old you were when you took your first flight?
I do not. I think I might have been even under 1. I think my parents took us to Cuba or something.
That's awesome. It's so interesting having a family member that is in the airline industry. Is your mom as well?
No, she's not in that industry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's always interesting too, because you get your standby passes. You basically can have all these different opportunities for travel, which is really nice. So that kind of opens up the world to you, which is even better. Did you go to college or university?
I did. I went to both the University of Manitoba as well as the University in Winnipeg.
Nice. And what were you studying there?
my first degree at University of Manitoba. I did a sort of more standard Bachelor of Arts degree, majoring in English. And then after that, I realized I wanted to do something a little bit more. Originally, I
Mm,
had plans actually to travel, take a year off in between things. But the
yeah.
pandemic kind of put that on hold, which worked
Eh,
out well. I jumped
yeah.
right into another program at the University of Winnipeg, which is in public relations, marketing, and strategic communications.
Nice. Very nice. Before when I was trying to figure out what to do with my life, I actually was looking and doing a PR course or something as well, which is always so interesting. So you did that, and what year was that you ended up doing that course? That was 2020?
Yeah, it would have been 2020, and it was
Okay.
a 13-month program, so it was
Yeah.
really got thrown into it. It went straight 13 months, like all day, just about, but it was great to just sort of really dive into it and get it done nice and quick.
Very nice. And then coming out of that, did you get a job directly into Frontiers North, or was there anything in between?
I did. I was really lucky. I'd actually, at the very start of that program, traveled to Churchill, Manitoba for the first time. They had an
Mm,
opportunity for Manitobans to travel there when
cool.
international travel was closed. So I went to Churchill, saw how interesting and unique it was up there. And then as I was finishing that program, I saw a posting for a Churchill tour operator looking for somebody in marketing and applied and ended up right away from that program with Frontiers North Adventures.
Wow, that is really neat. Are there a lot of tour operators up that way?
There's a handful, yeah. There's
Yeah.
a few around the town.
And how big is Churchill, to put it into perspective? Like, how many people live in Churchill?
Churchill is pretty small. There
Yeah.
is around 800 people who call the town of Churchill home year round, and there's
Okay.
somewhere between 6 to 900 polar bears that make up the Western Hudson Bay population. So it's quite the
Holy,
balance.
that is so many polar bears. It's so amazing that many polar bears are in Canada, which is something that I never really think about. Or I always think if you're going to go see polar bears, you're going to go to the Arctic, you're going to go to Greenland, you're going to go elsewhere. So it's really neat that it's just kind of in our backyard a little bit, which is cool. Very cool.
Yeah. No, it's a
So
super neat thing we have here in Canada.
yeah, I love it. So with the travels that you've done in the past, what type of places have you been to over the years?
I've been very fortunate. I've been to, I believe it's around 15 different countries now across 5 different continents. So I've been from places like Peru on a hiking trek to Machu Picchu, to Australia, to Ireland, lots of hot family vacations, and of course,
Mhm.
many places here in North America, exploring a bit of my own backyard.
Love it. And what's your favorite travel style? Do you like luxury, all inclusive, fly and flop, or you prefer a little bit more adventure or a mix?
I definitely like a little bit more of an adventure travel experience personally. My preference is definitely to have my backpack, have my camera, ideally find either really interesting landscapes, whether it be through hikes or different places, and looking for critters and wildlife. Doing that kind of out of the town, out of city experience is usually my preferred type of travel.
Nice. Do you hostel quite a bit or still hotel style?
I do both. It really
Okay.
depends on the place.
Yeah. With that type of trip, like being a little bit more adventure travel, which obviously it's such a good fit that you're at Frontiers North, given the adventure travel aspect. What do you think your biggest like travel tip would be, or something that you always have to bring on your trips when you're doing like an adventure trip? Is there
I
anything?
would say that
Yeah.
packing cubes have changed my life. I use them
I
probably
agree.
more often than I
Yeah.
ever should. I get made fun of it a lot now. Everyone thinks it's a little
No.
little obsessed. But honestly, I think there's such a game changer if you're traveling and you want to stay organized. It's just a great way to be able to do that.
I totally agree with you. I agree. It's a life-changing thing. My mother-in-law bought it for my husband and I, and you can fit so much more crap in your bag when you have the packing cubes. And you're right, the organization too, like to keep things separate. And yeah, I love it. Very good advice. With all the travels, do you have any like travel stories that kind of like stick out that are really funny or just one of your favorite travel stories?
I think I did a 4-day trek towards Machu Picchu when I was in
Mhm.
Peru, and one story my friends and I often look back and laugh upon now is on doing that trek. That first day, we just spent 2 hours going straight up a mountain, and I hit this point where I was like, "This is it. I'm done. I can't do this." And I was probably about 10 meters from the end point, and just didn't realize it.
Oh, really?
Um, so in retrospect, it's quite funny knowing that if I had just taken 5 more steps around a group of trees. we were
You
at the
would
very
have
end, but
been in. So did you like stop altogether, or did you continue to at least see? Or how did you
oh no, I
finish?
continued. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we
good.
got there, but
Okay. It is
such
funny,
an
hey? Well,
unnecessary moment in the end.
totally. Well, and I hear that the altitude is a bit much up there too. Like, is there conditioning you have to do before you actually get there? Do you just climatize once you land and then start the hike?
Yeah, we spent a few days in the town of Cusco before heading out, just so that we
Yeah.
could get a bit acclimatized before heading up too far.
Yeah. Very cool. And then did you have is it a Sherpa that carries your bags and everything for you? Like, was it a guided hike going up?
It was guided, yeah. You carried your
Yeah.
own bags, but we did have a
Okay.
guide. It was definitely something that I would recommend always having a guide with travel. It
Yeah.
just makes your life so much easier.
Totally. Well, and I find too, like we've been to so many places where we rent a car and then we just drive around on our own. And then afterwards we realize, oh, there's so many like viewpoints we could have stopped at or we missed something versus being on a tour, which is really nice. So it's kind of the balance between the two. Or even like a walking tour you could do with like the headphones if you download something. That even is helpful as well when you're kind of walking through a city or town just to make sure you don't miss anything. Very cool. It
Yeah,
sounds like you've done, yeah, a lot of travels, which is awesome. I love it. Did you have you been anywhere recently? Like outside of 2020?
I have been Hawaii was the last place that I traveled. So that
Yeah.
was this past winter, which was really fun, really exciting, and was beautiful, nice warm weather.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've got a trip coming up actually in under 2 weeks. I'll be heading over to
Ooh,
Utah to do some hiking out there too.
nice. Are you going? Oh, wait, Utah. Is that Antelope? The Antelope
I'll
Canyon? Is that there?
it might be, yeah, I'll be
Maybe.
heading
Yeah.
over to Zion National Park in
Oh,
Arches,
nice. Nice. Oh, that'll be beautiful. Are you going by yourself or with anyone?
traveling with two friends. Yeah.
Nice. Do you typically travel with other people or do a bit of solo?
Most often, yeah, I've done a little bit of everything. So I've done family vacations. I've traveled alongside my dad as he's on his work trips tagging
Hmm.
along. I've done a few solo trips and I've now been doing a few more trips with friends, which is lots of fun.
Cool. That's so fun. And where in Hawaii were you just recently? Which
I
island?
was on the big island.
Oh,
Oh,
perfect.
Oahu. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. I know we were just in Hawaii as well. In March of this year, we are in Maui actually, kind of up from where Lahaina was with all the fires, which is crazy. So sad with everything going on. But it really is just so beautiful in Hawaii. Like the way of life, everybody's just so laid back. It's so chill. Yeah, highly recommend Hawaii all the time. With Frontiers North Adventures, like I said, like it seems like it's a dream job for you. Absolutely, given all your travel experience. Tell us more about the company itself. Like, what are you guys known for and what do you guys do?
Yeah, Frontiers North Adventures is a really cool company. So they're based out of Churchill, Manitoba, where they specialize in guided trips for people to come and see Churchill and experience either wild polar bears, beluga whales, or northern lights. Churchill has these 3 different seasons in which there's all these different natural phenomenons taking place. So each season that we get visitors coming to see us is totally different and has its own unique opportunities. And Frontiers North specializes in giving people those opportunities to come to this little remote part of Canada.
So fun. What would you say your most popular tour is? Or what do people really love to come to see the most?
Polar bears are definitely the biggest draw. Polar bear season is a little bit wild. We get visitors coming from all across the globe. And
Yeah.
that season takes place in October, November. That's when the bears are migrating back to the Churchill area as they wait for the sea ice. And it tends to be what Churchill is best known for is those bears. But
Mhm.
Northern Light season and beluga whales are sort of these uncovered gems that people are starting to discover that are also equally as amazing up in Churchill.
So beautiful. I want to go so bad. I already told my husband, I'm like, we need to go to Manitoba. He's like, why? And I'm like, well, you see, it's very important.
Yeah,
With
it's really like a slept upon experience here. Everybody
yeah.
thinks of East Coast, West Coast, Toronto, and it's really this tiny little place here in Manitoba that's so special and so unique. You're not going to find anything quite like it anywhere else on the globe.
Well, and they always call Winnipeg, well, as Canadians always call Winnipeg Winterpeg for the most part, because you guys get really cold winters. But it's just so neat that you could go a couple hours north and just see something that you can't really see anywhere else across Canada, which is pretty sweet. With the belugas, so you guys, I'm assuming, are on a boat to go see the belugas. How does
Yeah.
that work? Do you guys have cruises that you do? Is it multi-day cruises or just like a day trip?
Yeah, the beluga whales are super fun. So there's a couple of different ways in which people can join us and experience viewing beluga whales. The first is on a Zodiac boat, which is really fun. These are
Hmm.
light boats. They're actually inflatable, made up of 8 different air chambers. And the cool thing is the company of which we operate with, they use prop guards around all their propellers. So there's no worries about interacting with the belugas. It's very whale friendly. And so you can go out on the Zodiac and have these really up close viewings of all the whales. Or you can choose,
Nice.
there's another special design boat that you can go up and has sort of higher viewing decks. And that one's really cool because you kind of get to look down and over. So you can see all these whales as they're moving around and they'll zip under the boat and they love to play in the bubbles of the boat. So
Ah,
often you'll find them hanging out in the wake, sort of putting their faces in the bubbles. People always like to say they enjoy a little face wash. And what's really fun is if you want to get even more up close, do something a little bit more active. You can actually either kayak with beluga whales or go paddleboarding with them. I actually went
no
paddleboarding with the
way.
beluga whales last week, and it has definitely been up there in some of my top travel experiences anywhere.
Holy. And how does that work? Like, are they more intrigued with the paddleboard and with you? Do they like try to bump against it, swim alongside? What was the experience
Yeah,
like?
all of the above, really. Yeah, beluga whales, they're known for their really curious nature. So you don't have to go out finding them. You just simply head out on your paddleboard with the guide, and the beluga whales are going to come find you because their curiosity, they just can't stay away. So suddenly you'll notice little things nudging the back of your paddleboard. You'll have these bubbles blowing up around you, and sure enough, usually they like to hang out at the back of the paddleboards or kayaks, and you'll turn around and you'll have all these beluga whales just following right along behind you, which is a pretty unique opportunity.
Oh, that's amazing. How big are beluga whales? Like,
They can get to be pretty
big.
big, yeah. So
Yeah.
your males can get up to, I think, in around like close to 1,200 pounds or so.
Ooh.
So they're quite big, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. And how cold is it there right now in the summer months? Like, is this wetsuit, dry suit type of season?
So you do wear a wetsuit
Mhm.
because where you go paddleboarding is out in what's called the Churchill River, and it's an estuary. It actually flows out into the Hudson Bay. So that water, especially with the bay water from the ocean, can be a little bit chilly. So you get a nice little 5 millimeter wetsuit. I
Mm.
wasn't cold at all. And summer in
Okay.
Churchill is actually not too cold.
Hmm.
It's not chilly. You can actually have shorts and t-shirts with the weather up there. They actually broke a heat record this year, and they had one of the hottest places in Canada one of the days. They were at 30 degrees Celsius.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. That is really interesting, actually. Wow. What an experience. That's so, so neat. I always like, we have Okanagan Lake here. So when I paddleboard, like, you don't really see anything unless maybe the Ogopogo finally decides to show its face and pop up somewhere. But otherwise, yeah, we don't get much. So that's a really, really unique experience and does sound very special. With so then moving on to land to see the polar bears. I know you guys have tundra buggies, which look so cool. So tell us a bit more about how you move around on land.
Yeah, so when we're out in the Churchill Wildlife Management Area, which Frontiers North Adventures is one of 3 companies that have the permits to be able to operate in those areas, you would be out on one of our tundra buggies. And these are specially designed and equipped vehicles with polar bear viewing in mind. So they're huge, they're absolutely massive, and that's to keep you nice and safe and up away from the bears for your safety as well as the polar bears. We prioritize not just the people, but we also care deeply for these bears in which live in the environment where we operate. So we want to make sure we're keeping them safe from us as well. So you'll head out, you'll explore all these already established roads and trails. We never go off them, but traveling on tundra buggies is always lots of fun. It just feels like this huge thing, and you get the chance to go around and roam areas that you would never be able to on foot, looking for wildlife. And what's super exciting these days is actually we are in the process of converting our entire fleet to be electric vehicle tundra buggies. So right now we have 2 fully electric tundra buggies in our fleet. that are operating in our tour fleet. So guests have the chance to come up and go on them. And they offer a more sustainable option, which is exciting, and also a silent option. So no longer do you hear any sort of engine noise, which is great for both us as well as the wildlife.
That is really unique. I was at a tourism conference, the Impact Conference, last year, and I heard John, your CEO, talk about that you guys were doing that, which is super cool and really unique. And I think that's such a smart idea, especially just to kind of be a little bit more one with nature as best you can when you're going on the tours. But whatever comes to mind, it always comes to mind for the tundra buggies. And if you haven't seen them before, check it out on their website because they are so cool looking. But it's like how you would go to Africa for an African safari. This is like the Canadian safari. Like this is a way, Canadian winter safari is essentially what it is. So it's really, really unique. How many people fit in the tundra?
So on a tundra buggy day tour, you could have up to 40 people fit on it. That's how many people it can seat. However, on all of our guided multi-day adventures that our guests book on, we only have 20 people on the tundra buggy at a time. And that means everybody can have their own window seat. You don't have to share, which is nice.
Very nice. Is it like a safari when like you can pop your head up from the top, or no, it's viewing on the sides only? Like, is it open at the top?
It does. Yeah. So the top is closed, but the way in which you can open it is all the windows drop down. So you can pop your window down at any point. If you have a camera, it's great to be able to snap photos out of it. And also anytime the vehicle is stopped and positioned, so that you're watching a bear, you can also head out onto a back observation deck. What's really cool about that is not only can you be looking out at a bear, but just like people, there's some bears that are really curious. They want to come, they want to explore, and they might even choose to walk right underneath the buggy. And then you can be looking down through the grate at a polar bear potentially beneath your feet.
Oh, that's so cool. Because you guys have been around for a long time, like 87, I think. The year I was born is when I think you guys started with the tundras. Because how long have the buggies been around for?
So tundra buggies have been around for a long, long time as well. And they've seen many iterations over the years. They really started out as a small thing just designed for people in Churchill wanting to go out and see the bears, and then started to become the tourism vehicle that they are today. And now, as we mentioned prior, they're turning electric. So it's something that they're continually evolving, which has been really exciting.
So cool. It's such a great idea. And I love that they're becoming electric. And you guys are very proud, I know, when John spoke about it too at the last conference, just about being a certified B corporation. So tell us a bit more about that process and why that's so important to you guys.
To be a certified B Corp essentially means that Frontiers North Adventures is a company that strives to do better for the people, the places, the environment, its staff, all of these things. They look to think about how they can better. So it's not just simply about doing business, but it's how can we do business that impacts these places positively as much as we can. And it's something that not too many companies have yet, but we hope to see more tourism companies, especially here in Canada, join us soon.
I love that. It's so important. And I love that that's such a important aspect of your guys' business, because you should be very, very proud of it. With working at Frontiers North, what's your day-to-day like? Like when you're up in Churchill, what do you do?
Yeah, my day-to-day is all over the place. So most often I'm here in Winnipeg, working on our marketing strategies. So I'm doing our e-newsletters, photo management, emails, social media, all that kind of fun stuff. And then oftentimes I get the opportunities to facilitate work with media from across all the globe. So I'll go up there, help guide them around, showcase to them what makes this place so special. I get the opportunity to do lots of our photography work, which is very fun. Photographing the Northern Lights or wild polar bears and beluga whales is something that when you get a call that your work day, it's a pretty great day you've just had.
Dream job, like I said. Definitely. It fits perfect.
Argue with it.
It fits perfect. So what type of people usually come on these tours? Do you have a mix of like age range or anything in particular?
We do. We see a pretty wide variety. Most often in our multi-day adventures, we see a little bit of an older demographic. They are tours that require a bit more resources to go upon. So it tends to be people who have those savings, but we are seeing many more millennials and younger travelers joining us, which has been super exciting. And we've been working to think about how can we offer that demographic more activities? Can we make it more active? So those are all things that we're seeing more of in Churchill. We also have newly started this year, but our family learning adventures. So these are opportunities for children to come up to Churchill with their parents, and it's a really neat place for a family to have the chance to dig in, explore, both parents and kids. There's so much to see and so much to learn in Churchill. We just had our first family learning adventures beluga whales trip, and they had an absolute blast.
Oh, that's amazing. And what age range for the families?
So for those family learning adventures, we recommend an age range of around 8 to 12 is sort of the ideal age for that grouping.
As you were talking instantly, I thought like school trips, like a field trip or something. So that kind of fits when it's the family experiencing it all together, because that's a really great educational piece to be able to see that. And so unique, so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of unique, like what do you think so special about your company? I mean, I know you've said a ton, but for you specifically working there, what do you think's the most special?
Yeah, I think it's really cool. Frontiers North is a company that's very passionate about doing things well, about doing them in ways that feel good, not just for the clients, but for the employers. So that's been really, really fun to work with a company so dedicated to doing things the right way. And it's really cool. They actually have a partner with an organization called Polar Bears International, which is the only nonprofit in the world solely dedicated to wild polar bears. And
Cool.
together, our two companies are working so hard to try and bears, and being involved with a company that, partners so closely with a nonprofit and makes that such a big priority has been really special to be a part of.
Wow. It does sound like they're doing so many incredible things, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. For someone looking to get into the hospitality industry, what advice would you give them?
I think you just have to be ready to jump in. You might not know what task you might be assigned. It might seem a little bit daunting, but the only way to sort of get your foot in that door is to really lean into it, and don't be afraid to either apply for that job that seems too far, to take on that opportunity, even if it maybe seems a little bit more advanced than what you're ready for. Because if you put your all into it, I'm sure that there'll be people there that support you, and that's the best way really to find yourself in this industry.
I love it. It's so true. Diving right in. And also usually people in tourism and hospitality, it's their passion. So typically you'll find people that truly love this job. And that's what a lot of these chats that I've been having have been about. Everyone's just like, follow your passion. And if it's something that you're so into, you're going to make it work with whatever comes along the way. I love that. Love it. Love it. So what's an ask for us? How's some way that we can all support you for those listening, with your business or just in general?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would always recommend definitely make sure Churchill is on your bucket list. There's so many great opportunities there, from amazing northern lights, curious beluga whales, and wild polar bears. It's something that I just want the world to experience. So a travel up to Churchill is definitely sort of the most I could ask for people, is come see this amazing place.
Love it. Put it high on the bucket list. I know it's high on mine. The never ending, ever growing bucket list.
I know
it's
a challenge.
It is. It's hard. I know. Yeah. I love it. So where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find, if you're interested in Churchill, you can find us over at Frontiers North Adventures. And if you want to find me, you can find me over at Cupeiro Photos on Instagram, and you'll find my wildlife photos and Churchill photos there.
Perfect. I'll make sure to tag them all in the description of this episode as well. And just thank you for taking the time and sharing this beautiful part of Canada with us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you all for everyone that's come here to listen today. It's been another great episode, and we're just so excited for you to see more of the world and hear, obviously, of our beautiful, beautiful country of Canada. Check us out on YouTube, which now we are there. And if you have any questions, hit me up, subscribe, follow along, comment. I am happy to chat with you and connect with you then. And until next time, fly straight. Thank you to Hotel Z Kelowna, Victoria, and Tofino for being our sponsor. You can also save 15% off your next getaway using the code DARES2, DARES 2, the number 2, at hotelz.com. These funky and unique hotels are in British Columbia, and they're going to have you not wanting to leave while you're on your next vacation. Enjoy! If you like this episode, please subscribe, download a few more, and leave a review. I really would love to hear from you, what you enjoyed and what your key takeaways were. And of course, please let me know if there's any aspect of the travel industry you want me to talk about next. You can also search for the hashtag She Dares to Travel podcast on Instagram and comment on the episode's post with your questions. I'd love to answer them all for you guys. I hope you enjoy your day, stay so well, and until next time, fly straight.